Hey YouTube, Tigress here. So I thought it would be really fun to share with you how I met the love of my life. I know that there are a lot of people out there that are looking for their love, and it's a very emotional process, and it doesn't always feel very good. And I also know that there are a lot of people out there that are looking. I know there are a lot of people out there that are trying to give advice on how to find the love of your life, and some of it isn't necessarily based on firsthand experience. A lot of it is kind of based on like theories about the world and how that works. So I thought it'd be really fun to share my experience of how I really intentionally attracted the love of my life, my husband, who I've been with for over 10 years. So, first off, I do want to say that it definitely started with learning about the law of attraction. I watched The Secret, the movie, when I was 16, and I didn't know what it was. I would hang out with my friend all the time, and her mom would always have like a movie, from Blockbuster that she was able to pick out. Sometimes it was about dolphins and really random things. So we would just watch them with her for fun. But this one was was The Secret. And I didn't know what it was going into it, but I can say even at 16 years old, it opened my eyes and changed my life. And I remember my friend and I, after we watched it, like both of our eyes were open and we wanted to try to apply it to our life as much as possible. So the first thing we did was make a vision board. And being 16, and with that movie being so focused on physical things in life and attracting physical things, I definitely put a lot of like diamonds and like big houses and like a boat on my vision board. A lot of really like kind of outlandish things. But I remember I had like a small piece of what I wanted to put towards my lover. I knew there was a small part of me that knew I wanted to attract a love, yes, even at 16. And because if you watch some of my other videos that talk about my past, I was kind of alone for a lot of my teenage years to some extent. And so finding a love at a young age felt necessary for me, even if that's not how it should be for everyone, even if you're alone. That's just where I was and how I felt. But it wasn't like a huge deal. I only put like this small picture on the vision board of these two people dancing. And it was like, this guy in a tux, and he was like bending the woman over, and they were both laughing. And what that image, a simple image like that, really showed to me is that the kind of guy I wanted, there was a part of me that didn't even think he existed. The dancing really was a symbol to me of sensitivity, openness, comfortability with their bodies and with their sexuality. The smiles, really symbolized and helped me feel that happiness that you would feel with another person, that just real comfortable, just like being yourself, just like being happy. I mean, again, being so young, and maybe a lot of people feel this way even when they're not young. I really was so convinced I had to be someone else to find someone that I wanted. I had to be more girly. I had to be more fragile. I had to be more sensitive. I had to be more sexy and more feminine, and so many things that I felt like I had to over exaggerate to find this mate. And when the idea occurred of just being with someone just that I felt comfortable with, it really made me question, do I think that's possible? And it really opened up a lot for me. And from then on, that image never really left me. Just that one image is all I needed of someone, of the couple that looked happy together, doing something that only comfortable people do together. Well, I guess that's not true. I just personally had never really met any guys that were into dancing at that point. And all of the guys I was interested in were not guys that would dance. So that was kind of an outlandish idea for me, even though I love dancing. But basically, yeah, I just needed that one image, and it really opened up to what I really wanted. And once I had that image of what I really wanted, it was so much easier to feel and to focus on. So going forward, after I realized that, it did really help me realize how important that is to me and how much I really wanted that. And even at a young age, I began to, like, every day, every fucking day, funnel in this energy. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I watched the movie at 16, but I might have been like 16 and a half. And it was like at 17 that I really started to really apply this energy into having this love of my life. Because remember, it was like I made the vision board, I hung it up, and then I had the realization. It was kind of over a course of time that I came to this point. So at 17, I started really... and I'm making these numbers because it was very prominent for me. I remember I had this very specific journal at 17. And that was the year I really explored and really dived into the law of attraction. And every day I was writing positive affirmations just to feel better. And along with that, I would have one other page. I would have like a general affirmations page, and then I would have another page that was all about the love of my life and what he was like, how we felt together. I'm so glad I have, my best friend here. I'm so glad that we feel so good together. Things like that. And those will look very different for you, which is why I'm not sharing them specifically. But what I use those for was to carry into my meditations throughout the day. So in the morning, I would write down affirmations for how I wanted us to feel. And then just throughout the day, whenever I could remember, like while I was going for a walk, or I walked a lot when I was 17 because I didn't have a car, but I was walking from from point A to point B, or riding my bike, or even in between classes and things, I would use those affirmations to bring about that feeling into my life. And I would really envision that he was already there. Or sometimes, of course, visioning they're already there is really hard. So I would just like kind of, I don't know, like broadcast out and just envision, even if he is far away, there's no time and space that can keep me away from this person that is my best friend. And those, I think I really, although your affirmations will look different, I definitely really recommend using those words. Like these few words are really general, but still feel really good. So you can start with this, say like, imagining that person being your best friend, because you've already had a best friend, you know what that feels like, and how like unbreakable that can feel. Like with your best friend, like no time and space like sets you apart. Like that's your fucking best friend, So really envision like that vibe with your love. And also like, yeah, someone who loves me. For me, I think that's a really good place to start too. That's what we all should have. So we all deserve that. So that should definitely be the basis for like whatever love you're attracting. And also, again, distance means nothing, I think that's a really big one. And I think a lot of this envisioning, this meditation, and these affirmations can really bring up that is really helpful, is really discovering, do you feel worthy of love? Do you feel like love is possible? And if your answer to those questions is no, then finding your love is irrelevant. You first need to focus on feeling worthy of love and feeling like love is possible. And then you can go on to the actual attracting the love to you. Because if you got a shield up, even if that lover comes, he ain't getting in, or she ain't getting in. So anyways, that's my story. Basically, I did that for a year, just really focusing in. And then at 18, I decided to go traveling. And that was something I wanted to do for me. I was inspired for my own spiritual journey. I thought it would help me grow as a person. And I was really excited about it. I did not go into it desperate to find my love. I wasn't always on the lookout every time I was out, I just flowed. I just knew he was going to come. And I just did something that was enjoyable and fun for me. And he fucking showed up like that. Like, seriously, on my 18th birthday, the day I decided to go traveling in such a place of joy, I met him. And I didn't in the moment, like it wasn't like love at first sight, like, oh my gosh. I actually like, I thought his friend was hot and I was trying to get with his friend for a minute. And then I found out his friend was with someone. And it was really funny because I didn't really look at him at first in that way. And it was really unexpected. It was just as I slowly got to know this person, it formed really similar to a friendship, but also he was really fucking hot, so it wasn't a friendship. So, it could happen in really unexpected ways. You don't always have to be on the scout. Just believe and focus and yeah, that's how I did it. So I hope this video is helpful and at least fun. Bye, one love.